Thank you for joining us for another episode of Cryptocurrent. Just one quick reminder. Cryptocurrent is a cryptocurrency and blockchain education platform that's bridging the gap between the curious newcomers who are just discovering the space and the thought leaders who are shaping its future. All opinions expressed by Richard Carthon, the Cryptocurrent team, and their guests on this show are exclusively their own opinions. You should not treat any opinion expressed by Richard, the team, and their guests as a specific inducement to make a particular investment or to follow as financial advice. This show and any other Cryptocurrent production is exclusively for informational purposes.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Cryptocurrent. Your host here, Richard Carthon. And today I have a very special guest working on a project that hits home for me because I know back in the day, I very much enjoyed playing board games, still do today. I'm very competitive as it relates to Monopoly, but they have a very unique twist on bringing board games into the NFT space. And I'm excited to unpack this a little bit more. We have the CEO, Andrew of SoLads. How you doing today?
Oh man, I'm doing amazing, Richard. Thank you for having me on, bro. I'm hyped, man. I've been wanting to really share this with you and everybody.
Absolutely, man. You had great energy before we even got into this conversation. You already bring the energy at the beginning of this, so I'm excited for this conversation. But before we dive into everything, I want to learn a little bit more about you. Can you give us some background on yourself?
Yeah, man. My crypto journey is kind of crazy. I jumped into it back in 2017, and I discovered Bitcoin way back in the day when it was like 15 cents because I was playing poker full time and poker players always owe each other money. So like we'd send, Bitcoin back and forth. But I was like, man, who's ever going to want a digital currency? And then like fast forward to like 2016, I ran into one of my buddies as a poker player and he's like, hey man, did you hear about Bitcoin? And I was like, yeah, man, I heard it got to $100, but it'll never get any higher. And he's like, dude, it hit 1,000. I was like, holy shit. And like, I'm not the type of person that just like jumps into anything. So I spent the next 6 months just researching. Like I clawed through the forums and read like every post from like when Bitcoin started to date. And so then like I fired into Bitcoin, then I started getting involved in altcoins. I was studying trading along the way, doing a little trading. And like during the 2017 bull market, any idiot can make money trading. And so I was doing really well. And I'm kind of out there on social media and Facebook. So like when I get excited about something, I talk about it. And it just kind of turned into every 3 days, every day, like 3 people would hit me up just asking for advice about crypto. So I started a group and, I ended up bringing on 100 clients over 40 days. And then, I taught them what I looked for in investing. And eventually it turned into a hive mind to where we were investing in nodes and flipping them and, splitting the profit and everything. And during the bear market of 2018, 2019, somewhere in there, somebody offered to buy the group from me. And so I sold it and I kind of moved on. And when this current, I guess we're kind of still in the bear market, took off, our bull market took off. A lot of the guys from the group reached out to me and asked me to start something again. And I enjoy personal development and I enjoy helping others do better. So I was like, yeah, let's do it. So, we got into some projects early. We got into DOT early. We got into crypto blades early when it came to NFTs. And we're like, hey, nice. We know what goes into spotting a good project. We know like how to run a good project. Why don't we start our own? And that's kind of how our project SoLads came into be.
All right, man. So really great background, starting in the world of poker, doing some Bitcoin back and forth, around $100, seeing it get to 1,000. You're like, all right, let's get in this thing. So you've been in the space for a while and been able to even figure out how to get into nodes. A lot of people don't necessarily understand how nodes and everything else works, but you build up that business and then sell it during a bear market, which congratulations, selling anything, as you know, is a huge deal. So congrats on that. But then you fast forward to present day 2020 and you're like 2022 and you're saying, I want to build a project. And so you land on SoLad. So tell us about it. What is it? And what has you excited about it?
For sure, man. Well, I'll start with what I'm most excited about, and then I'll go back and I'll hit all aspects of our project. So we got a few things going on. So the brief overview is we're introducing a play to earn game called Ladopoly. It's brought to you by our project SoLads. We're the first play to earn game that will be officially licensed by Hasbro, where investors can play one of their favorite board games and win crypto. Everyone who mints one of our game board NFTs will receive a replica board in the mail that they can play on in real life, while also receiving the benefits of owning a piece of the SoLads gameverse. Players can also win crypto and blue chip NFTs by rolling dice and moving around the board, or just by staking and purchasing property NFTs. So if you guys want to know all the details, make sure you hang out for the rest of the interview and I'll fill you in. But let me throw it back to what SoLads is in general and how we came together, because we got a few things going on, right? Yeah. So we on New Year's Eve we stealth launched our project SoLads, and what it is a DAO, a decentralized autonomous organization, to where each lad represents a share in a fund that owns blue chip NFTs, or we have a vault full of blue chip NFTs. And what we do is we grow the fund. And every quarter, we set aside a portion of it to where people can stake their lads and earn those profits that we made flipping those blue chip NFTs. And the reason we wanted to do that was if you pay attention to the NFT market, or you paid attention last year, blue chip NFTs between 30 Solana, 70 Solana, even higher, that had a lot of market volume. They have a lot more stability than the NFTs people are gambling on, but they have the same upside, if not more. But your average investor might not have the $5,000 to $7,000 just to throw into one NFT. So we wanted to give people fractionalized ownership of those NFTs. So that's what we did, and we put it to market really, really quick. And just because we wanted to give the investors the value right away when we saw the need. Well, I'm a business person. I'm all about utility when it comes to NFTs. I don't really stress off the artwork. So we just kind of threw the artwork together quick. Well, our community's awesome, and we wanted to reward them with some good artwork. So then we put together our version 2 lads, which they look a little bit cooler, look a lot cooler for real. And we airdropped them to people for free. And we had a giveaway planned. And I was like, well, instead of giving a giveaway to like 50 people, why don't we use that to fund our utility for our version 2 lads? So our version 2 lads is the inverse business model, to where we mint NFTs in whale-like proportions. We do a quick flip, and we keep 1 or 2 for a moonshot, and then the same business model where 75% goes back to investors, 75% of profits goes back to investors quarterly. And that's how the version 2 lads came together. And the entire time we've done this, I wanted to put together a play to earn game, because I'm truly passionate about play to earn. I made great money off it myself, last year. But what I learned along the way is it's literally life changing for a lot of these people in underdeveloped countries. Like they can replace their income and then some, and they get to play a game from home or click buttons. And it's great because they get more time with their family, and I work from home. So like I see the value in truly changing the world with this. And that's why I wanted to build a game that was sustainable, but also fun. And that's right. Where I saw the missing piece, and the 2 big missing pieces in all the games that came out last year, or most of them. Most weren't sustainable, and then most weren't fun. It was just clicking buttons and making money, but like you wouldn't play it if you weren't making money. And so like it wasn't that cool. And so that's what we decided we had to do when we put out a play to earn game. And I was mulling it around for a while, and I was like, well, we don't got the $1 billion budget to release like a badass first person shooter. And, I don't want something that's just dumb. But then I was like, hey, I collect board games. Why don't we start a board game? And that's what we did. And then we started working on getting the licensing and putting that together. And then boom, you got Ladopoly. So that's our project, man. That's what we got going on.
Man, that is so cool. And there's plenty in there that I want to just go back and make sure I'm following completely, because this is such a cool journey. So at the beginning of the year, you essentially stealth launch and create this style to where people who don't normally have necessarily the means to get into some of these high profile blue chip type of opportunities in the NFT space, specifically some of the NFT projects within the Solana ecosystem, you have a way that they can get fractionalized pieces of these particular NFTs, and you created a DAO, a decentralized autonomous organization, so that they could participate in that. And they got like a version 1 of these profiles, right? And then you airdrop them a second version, which then one looks a lot cooler, but then also gives them a little bit more ability to have access to even more of these kind of NFTs plays. And as you continue to build out these ecosystems, they get first looks into some of the cool projects, such as these NFT board games that the play to earn board games that you're bringing, because you're bringing an ecosystem where people can create livelihoods just by playing a fun game, but then also having a potential physical asset that they can also have by owning said NFT.
Exactly. And that's what it is. And there's a lot of utility tied to the game board NFTs and stuff too. And then even if you don't have any NFTs, you can still play the game just by holding our token, LAD token. So there's a lot of ways for people to participate, and we made it to where there's entry levels from everybody, from the person in an underdeveloped country that might be saving up a few weeks paychecks to start getting in the game, to the whale that wants to essentially own a piece of the game. And then we have plans for high stakes, micro stakes, whale killer stakes, a little bit of everything.
Yeah, let's speak on that just for a second. The token of it, right? The lab token. So can you tell us a little bit about the tokenomics of it, and what would be some of the value of people who would be looking to participate and own some of the lab tokens?
That's a great question, man. And so I'm passionate about play to earn, but there has to be sustainability, and there has to be an ecosystem. So I've designed our game tour is definitely going to have sustainability. So LAD token, it has no max supply, but the only way it's generated is by people playing the game, or by staking properties, which is essentially playing the game. So when you play the game, you roll dice and you move around a board. If you land on a property you don't own, you got to pay rent and LAD token. Now, every time you pass go, you're going to earn some LAD token. And then we also have a jackpot space where you can land and earn LAD token. The other big thing is you buy your properties with LAD token, kind of how you would buy like packs of baseball cards or Magic cards. Well, you buy packs of properties like that in our game. Well, 95% of the LAD token spent on properties is burned, taken out of existence. When you pay the rent on a property, 10% of that is burned, taken out of existence. Now, a portion of it goes to everybody who owns that property, and then a small portion goes to the dev team. Because another thing we do is we give away a blue chip NFT every single week. So week 1 of our game, when we go live, whoever goes around the board the most times is going to win a Degenerate Ape Academy NFT, which is worth about 50 Solana right now.
Wow.
Yeah, we're going to do that every week. And that's why I say, yeah, we take the 5% for the dev team, but it's not because we want to get rich. We're not keeping any of these tokens for ourselves. We have to earn playing the game like anybody else, but we want to have a draw to pull everybody of all levels. There's whales that will come play our game just to try to win a blue chip NFT. And that's the beauty of it. So the tokenomics of this are set up to where, by my calculations, we should burn between 39 and 49% of the supply coming into existence. And the reason why I set it up like that is because, it's an unlimited supply. So a portion of the rent share is burned. There's a Jackpot Square. You remember the free parking spot in Monopoly? Oh, yeah. So with us, that's a jackpot. And when I was a kid, we always put $500 in that spot. And if you landed there, you got it. So with us, we always have 250 LAD tokens there, but then a portion of rent share goes there. If you remember the taxes spaces, a portion of those goes there. And if you land on the jackpot, you get all that. Well, you also remember the go to jail, don't pass go?
That's right.
Well, with us, it's rugged because in the NFT world, somebody runs off with your money, you got rugged.
That's so good.
Yeah, so you get rugged and you go to bear jail. So not only do you get stuck in bear jail, well, you burn the jackpot and everybody's playing on the same board at the same time. So you burn the jackpot for everybody and it starts over. So those tokens are taken out of existence there too. So we have a lot of mechanisms built in to steadily burn tokens that come into existence and then also stop sell pressure.
Wow. Okay. So you have a lot of components in place. When you have a burn structure, then you have another way that people on the play to earn model can continue to be creating value and earning while they're playing. One question I do have because of the burn model, and what happens, let's call it a couple months down the line, when a lot of people have owned some of those properties, and as soon as they play, like, I don't know if like it's the model where like you can create like, first you put like houses, then you put like a hotel, and then like, it's like you land on it, you're like, oh my gosh, you're going to take all my money. Is that kind of the capacity, or is it like a finite amount on each spot so that newer players, when they first come in, don't just get absolutely destroyed?
That's a great question. And, it is designed to have longevity for newer players to be able to come in the game like that. So the first part of your question is like the houses and the hotels. And I wanted to do that, but with the way it works is everybody's essentially playing on the same game board. And I'll send you some in-game screenshots and stuff too. But everybody's playing on the same game board. So we couldn't really do the houses and hotels because property's done with like a rent share. So like, let's say you and I are the only ones in the entire game that own like our property. Our boardwalk is called Crypto Ain't Easy, and it's a picture of me dressed like a pimp. And let's say you land there, and for simple math sake, or somebody lands there, and for simple math sake, the rent is 100 LAD token. Well, 5% of that 5 LAD tokens is going to go to the dev team. 20% is burned out of existence. And then you and I and then like a portion goes to the jackpot. Well, you and I get to split 50% of that. So 25 tokens would go to me, 25 tokens would go to you, because we have fractionalized. Our whole theory is almost fractionalized ownership over everything, right? Like you and I have fractionalized ownership over that property in the game. And so we can't really build hotels, but what we did to kind of give that Monopoly feel is the only way you can build houses and hotels in Monopoly is by having all 3 colors.
Right.
So if I have a property, not only do I make money off the rent share, but I make money I make LAD token by staking it on the blockchain. So there's 2 ways to make money with the property NFTs: off the rent share from people playing the game, landed on the property, or just by staking it. Now, if I get all 3 properties of the same color, my staking payout increases by 3 times. So let's say my property pays out 100 LAD tokens a day, and I had 3 of them. Well, now all 3 of those properties pay out 300 LAD tokens a day because I have all 3 properties. Now, to tie that in to your question about like, man, does this just smack new players in the face? We crafted it for longevity to where you buy cards in packs, and there's different levels of packs based on like the amount of tokens a card will generate. So let's say you buy a gold level pack. And in that gold level pack, you're guaranteed 1 gold level card and then 2 other random cards. And the 2 cards could be good, they could be shitty, they're probably going to be like average, but it's that's how you buy most of properties. Well, our top tier properties are called Satoshi level properties. The only way to get a Satoshi level property is through yield farming. And for those that don't know, yield farming is where you put up 2 assets and you're providing liquidity. So in this case, you would put up LAD token and you'd put up Solana. And let's say you put up $1,000 in LAD token, you'd also have to put up $1,000 in Solana. And as you loan that out, you're going to earn LAD token, but you're also going to earn reward points. And then you can cash those reward points in for these Satoshi level NFTs. Now we're listing LAD token at $1 US per token. At listing, the way it's structured is if you were to put $20,000 in the liquidity pool to go all the way through to the top level of Satoshi level properties, it's going to take you 60 days. And at each level, you have to pick between two properties, and each one is going to be the key to a Ladopoly, getting that third property. So essentially, to get every property on the board, if you start with $20,000 at listing time, is going to take you 120 days. Now, as LAD token goes up, that number is going to go up proportionately. And that's why we're also going to introduce high stakes board, low stakes boards. I'm a degenerate, man. I like to gamble. As big as people want to keep playing, I'll keep playing with them.
Right.
So that's how we have it structured to make sure that there's longevity. There's the monopoly aspect of owning everything. But if you're a new player that comes in month 4, you don't have to worry about being behind because A, you could buy properties on the secondary market. B, you could play the game and build up. Or C, there's a lower stakes board that'll be coming out in June.
That's cool, man. And you actually just brought up another piece of this that I wanted to spend some more time on the marketplace of the NFT, right? So let's say that I'm a property owner and all of a sudden I say, I want to sell it. Are you able to then go sell your property or your ownership of a property on the secondary market?
Yep. There's going to be a secondary market. We'll probably have one on our personal site. We'll definitely be on listed on Magic Eden and a few other places for secondary sales. And that even ties into the utilities of the game board NFTs, if we can talk about that for a second.
Absolutely. Let's hear more about it.
So owning one of the game board NFTs is essentially owning a piece of the big board that everybody's playing on, right? And so we tie that into it. So that we put a lot of utility in it. So first of all, we're introducing something called binding utility. Anybody who mints these boards will receive 5% of all secondary sales on that board for the life of the game. So if I mint a board and I sell it to Richard, and a year later he sells it for 100 Solana, 5 Solana is going to go to my wallet because I have the binding utility on that board. So I think that's really cool. The second utility is if you remember the taxes squares and spaces on Monopoly. Well, we have those on Ladopoly too. We just call it gas fees. And 50% of the gas fees go to the board holders that are generated. So like I said, you're essentially owning a piece of the board. Now, board holders also get a royalty on a 5% royalty on board holder sales. But then since I said that owning a board is like essentially owning a piece of our gameverse, it's like owning land in our gameverse. When people sell properties in the secondary market, board holders actually get a 5% sale of a 5% piece of that secondary sale as a royalty too. So they actually get a piece of the property sales. And then last but not least, the board holders actually also get 15% of the V2 LAD fund as well tied into it, as well as a replica board in the mail, which I think is really awesome because like I think just minting an NFT and getting something tangible is cool because a lot of people aren't doing that. And right. The one thing that I think a lot of people are sleeping on, like everybody's excited that hears about this, they come to our community, hang out, but like nobody talks about the final utility, which is board holders get a piece of the advertising sales. So when you play our game, it's kind of like a Monopoly looking board that is floating in outer space. Well, eventually the outer space patterns will be used for advertising to where the outer space across from you, there'll be some type of advertising. So my projection is by the end of the year, we'll be pulling in about 40,000 a month advertising, and 20,000 of that's going to go to board holders. So they own a piece of the gameverse. So I think the boards are awesome. It's going to be a 3 Solana mint when we do it, but I think it's cheap for all the utility you're getting.
Yeah, that sounds pretty awesome. And you just brought up mints. So what is the current projection around mint? When is that potentially happening?
It's going to be late March. We initially were going to mint March 14th, but our marketing agency we hired kind of got a slow start. So I think we're going to push it back 2 weeks so we can get a full just sprint. You know, we did a private sale for our day oneers, and we minted out in 2 minutes. And wow. So Yeah, we want to be team 2 minutes. So we want to mint out to get in 2 minutes, and we want the full steam ahead. And so it'll be late March for our mint.
Got it. Well, cool. So for anyone that wants to participate in this, where would they need to go?
So best thing would be to check out our Twitter. I'm on Twitter, close some sales. Our other Twitter is at SoLads NFT, or jump in our Discord. I'll make sure you got the link, Rich. And that's a great way to find us. Or go to SoLadsNFT.com. That's got all our links there. We're on Magic Eden. But the best thing is jump in the Discord, because me and my partner, Aaron, we're always hanging out in there and ready to answer any questions.
Perfect. Well, we'll make sure to get all those links on there. And real quick, I always like to wrap up with a few fun questions. My final three I'm going to have for you today. The one I want to start with is, as you look at 2022 and just everything that's happened, let's call it over the last decade in the world of crypto, there's been so many different evolutions, right? So you had, alts that came into the space. You had NFTs, you had DeFi summer, metaverse that's now becoming more exciting as of 2021. As you look at 2022, how would you describe, like, if someone asked you, like, at the end of the year and someone said, this was the year of X, what do you think X is?
I think play to earn. I've said it since last year that 2022 was going to be all about play to earn, because I think that's truly where mass adoption starts to take form in the crypto space. Because I don't know how old you are, but I'm 36, and I played a lot of games. I don't play a lot of games anymore, but that's an easy spot to wrap around your mind around NFTs. And if you can play games and earn crypto doing it, that's an easy way for your average investor, or somebody who might not even be an investor, to sift in quick. The key is, though, A, having a fun game, and B, having sustainability. And those will be the ones that you'll see will be winners. And the people that get good at spotting and will be the winners as investors. And I think you'll see a lot of people get wrecked because they start chasing play to earn games that are like they'll be the meme coins of this year.
Right. No, that is definitely a good take. I think that NFTs are definitely going to be help that bridge to mass adoption. Then you add gaming on top of it, which the gaming industry is just massive and everyone likes it. And you merge the two together. That is going to be the quick onboard ramp for a lot of people getting exposure into the greater crypto ecosystem. So definitely appreciate that. With all the information that you have right now in this moment, if you could go and impart 1 to 2 pieces of wisdom to yourself when you first got started building all of this out, what's 1 to 2 pieces of wisdom you'd share with yourself?
So I would say, be prepared to work as hard as you ever have, if not harder than you ever have before, because this is like running a real business. Like I have 16, 20-hour days, but I love it. I'm passionate about what I'm doing. So that's the first piece of advice I'd throw at myself. And then B, remember this is a long-term game, and you got to be adaptable. And it's tough in the NFT space to project past 2 years of your long-term projection, because that's just the reality of it. A 5-year projection, I don't know where crypto is going to be at in 5 years, but I know my project's still going to be rolling, and we're going to be a piece of it. And like I said, I believe this is the year of play to earn. So I found an adaptable way to make play to earn fit with our culture of fractionalized ownership, and something I'm passionate about, providing opportunities to people regardless of portfolio or buy-in level. So hard work and adaptability, man. That's really what it would be.
Yeah, two great ones right there. And definitely appreciate that sentiment, man. But as we kind of wrap up here, what is a final thought that you want to leave with all the listeners here today?
So I just want to tell you guys, look, jump in our Discord, come hang out, see what we're all about. People come to us because they want to make the money, but they stay for the community because we have a great time. We do a coffee and crypto chat every morning. I do a state of the Ladverse every Monday, to where I fill everybody in on what's going on. I do an Ask Me Anything. But you're going to want to be involved in this project. We're going to be the most talked about project of 2022 when it's all said and done. because we're coming out of nowhere. We're building something nobody else has in the space yet, and we're having fun with it. If you had fun playing Monopoly growing up, you're going to love Ladopoly because you're going to earn real money, and you're going to be a part of a culture that's making a movement across the world, and it's something bigger than any of us. So I love it, and thank you everybody for tuning in and listening and learn about it. I hope you reach out and come hang out.
Absolutely. And definitely appreciate that final thought. For everyone listening who is on the go, what are some good links or what are things that they can go to? Is there a good website? Is there, and of course, I know you already said Twitter and Discord that they can go to, but what are the ways that people can connect with you?
Yeah, so best way to find me is at Closesome Sayles, CLOSESOMESAYLES, like my last name, Sayles. I'm on Twitter. You can find me on Facebook, Andrew Sayles. You can jump on our Discord, our website, SoLads, SoLads, NFT.com has all our stuff there. Jump in our Discord link. You'll have that. But yeah, those are the best ways to find us. So yeah, I'm all over social media. If you look me up, Andrew Sayles, I'll always answer, and I'll always direct you someplace to hang out with us.
Perfect. Well, Andrew, thank you so much for spending time with us. I know I definitely enjoyed the conversation, and I know that I'm going to go check this out. Everyone listening, I highly recommend you go check this out as well. And of course, for everyone listening, stay cryptocurrent.